Omo To Sure, you fine. Girl, I like to make you mine. And I no feel sleep, I no feel eat. Now you with my mind. Omo To Sure.
Good evening, everybody. Welcome to another episode of M underscore for women made by women. So I'm Anilile Kibiteko, one of your hosts this evening. I would like to introduce you to our co-hosts. We have Iviwe Jacobs.
Hi guys.
And we have Mbalin Jawe. And we have Ziluluto Makiolo.
Hi guys.
Unfortunately, one of our co-hosts, Wendy Patkis, won't be able to join us tonight. She has some domestic things she needs to take care of. Right, so today, what we're talking about is imposter syndrome. Imposter syndrome is one of those syndromes that a lot of people live with, and they don't really know what it is, but a lot of people suffer from. So we felt that let's discuss it and let's just talk about how it manifests itself in our daily lives, in our work lives, personal lives, church lives, all the multifaceted areas that we as women get into. Okay. The clinical definition is a psychological phenomenon whereby a person cannot fully internalize their accomplishments. So what this to me means is we are not able to take credit for our work. We always downplay our accomplishments. We always feel like someone else could have done it better than us. And it's not something you say out loud. It's something that sort of lives in your subconscious mind. And every time it shows itself is when you're probably in a public space where you're being awarded your accolade or accomplishment, and you find yourself not feeling worthy of that. And I think it's a very important discussion to have, because a lot of Black women suffer from this syndrome. A lot of Black women in corporates suffer from this a lot. And we'll just discuss a few quotes of how imposter syndrome basically shows itself. So now inviting my co-hosts, have you ever found yourself saying things like, if I were really good at this, I would have already completed it?
Personally, yeah, I think when you suggested the topic imposter syndrome, I was like, okay, what is this? I don't know what this is. And I did a bit of research, and to my surprise, I gravitated a lot to what it was describing, because I have a tendency, even though I can do so many things and I can work so hard on so many things, I have a tendency of downplaying it so it doesn't look like it's a big deal, even if it is a big deal. And I don't really speak on credentials all the time, because I feel like when it describes it like a fraud, it feels like you haven't accomplished it, but yet you know it's yours and it's something you've done. So I felt it a bit, and I do catch myself saying stuff like that sometimes, like, it's not a big deal, everyone can do this, or yeah, something like that.
With me, le imposter syndrome, as Uziku said, yeah, like it really hit home, because now when I read as quotes and stuff, it's not a thing of me saying it to myself and all of that. It's a situation where someone, because most it's a psychological phenomenon, and it was a situation where someone imposed or did guys, explain someone. Yeah.
Are you saying that someone was projecting this type of fear on you?
It was I was growing up, I was always told at home, I'm not good enough, whatever I do, and so growing up with yonke lanto, it plays with your it plays with your mind, and every time you do something, I was born and all of that. So le imposter, it really hit home actually. Like it took time for me to like go through the research and all of that, because it was so sensitive. It brought back memories of constantly being told that you're not good enough. You know, every time I do something and I get like positive feedback and yonke land and credits and all of that, back with this one person who was supposed to be my hero, my best friend and all of that, no, you know what, you accomplished yonke land, but jonga uzbani ukogqithile because you're not good enough. Ubone is yonke land. So it's not a situation of me doing it to myself. It's a situation of growing up being told that you're not good enough, being told that, you know, it's not gonna go anywhere. Like izinto ezinjeyana. So yeah, guys, serious. It really plays with your mind.
If you were.
With me, when I had a look at that, I don't recall a time where I suffered from that. Like, I don't think I suffer from all of that. I'm a quite a positive person. Like, whatever I do in life, wherever I go, like, I don't allow the outside noise to tell me, so I don't suffer from that. You know, like, right? I don't know if I'm making sense, but I'm good.
Yeah, you're making sense. You're making sense, and that is actually how to sort of overcome the syndrome. A lot of positive affirmations, a lot of belief, and what you've said, Mbali, about growing up with people feeding you things, right? Telling you stuff. It does embed itself in your subconscious mind, and it does. But what your mind does is that sometimes it just puts it in a box somewhere, and then something erupts it, and then the whole box is open, and all the files come out, and you realize how toxic some people have been in our lives, you know. But also just society as a general, like generally that. We have this thing that you have to always play humble. You know, you always have to play like you're not greedy, you know, or that, you know, there's that also, there's that influence that I find a lot, that if I'm just going to be like, hey, I'm so and so, and these are all my accolades, you know, it always feels like, you know, you are disrespecting other people. You should be more humble. God is going to take it away from you. Or, you know, there's also that big influence. And I think the next slide sort of speaks to that as well. So let's say you've just been awarded your master's, and you're just like, hey, you know, I'm just really lucky, you know, anyone could have done this. There are many other people with way less that could have done this, you know. It happened by chance. Or you can see someone struggling to take a compliment. I don't know if you've seen it, when a person just struggles to like, you know, ingest the fact that they are this great person. And especially with like finding a job and things, you're just like, no, I was just really lucky, you know, like I must have met the interviewers on a good day, you know, like I completely messed up. I don't know how I did it. It's probably just luck. No, girl, you are everything you are. You know, you worked for it. That's why you're getting it, you know.
With the struggling to take a compliment, when it comes to me, most of the time, like, I never know how to reply, because I don't want to come off as if I'm not humble. Like, if a person would tell me about, oh no, actually, we believe in you, we know that you're gonna do A, B, and C. Like, I don't want to reply and be like, yes. Like, I just never know what to say. Like, lots, because I'm like, deep down inside, I know, but guys, it's me. Like, yeah, you see, but not in a weird way, because, like, no, guys, I don't know how to say it, but not shame. Like, I believe so much in myself. Like, even if you'd come and be like, if you tell me something, I wouldn't take it to heart, So, like, at times, I just never know what to say when people tell me, what do they believe in me? Because I'm like,
do you mind I just wanted to point out that I think is like moving forward with such a conversation that we have to kind of make it clear that I don't think people with the syndrome necessarily don't believe in themselves. I don't think people with the syndrome don't think they can accomplish certain things. I think it's like the mentality Mbali was trying to describe of upbringing that tends to make a person feel as if they should present themselves in such a way that they are not too forward or out there about their accomplishments. Sometimes I think even if, for instance, women in corporate and stuff like that, they know that they're killing it out there. They do know that. They do know that they are one in a million that are actually out in that position. But sometimes I feel like it's this environment that they're in that kind of pushes them to a point where they have to start thinking or saying stuff to other people that downplay their own achievements. I think personally, when I read a few things on imposter syndrome, I was like, okay, I don't necessarily not believe in myself. I don't also think that I'm not going to accomplish certain things. I do work over time to accomplish certain things, but I do have a tendency when in front of people to kind of downplay whatever I'm doing. I think maybe that's a humble thing where I'm trying to present myself as humble, or it's an issue whereby I don't want to look like I've worked extremely hard on this to accomplish it. I don't know, so I can say it's just my luck, but it's not a matter of just my luck. I have worked hard to accomplish it, but that's how I present it in front of people. So people don't think it's that I dreamt and starved for this specific moment. I did know, I did all of that, but I don't think when I present it to other people that I genuinely believe let me say these things about myself. So yeah, I don't think that, maybe some do have an issue where they don't believe in themselves. Maybe that's a deeper level of the syndrome. But I think most people that I've come across do believe in themselves. Hence, they have those achievements and those accomplishments. They believe in themselves. But I think the problem is how they present it to other people. I think they tend to go out in public and say, it's just my luck. Anyone can do this. I mean, it's not a big deal, to downplay, but they know that deep down inside it is a big deal. I don't know if I'm wrong.
Also, I think the syndrome as well, it comes off as a wave. Yeah, well, at times it stops you from wanting to achieve something. You know, if you were planning to do A, B, and C, and then you would downplay yourself and be like, let me rather not go after it. Yeah, well, so it's something that comes not really once in a while, but it can be once a week, whereby you sit back and then you're like, oh, actually, let me not do this. Let me rather do something else. Yeah, well, and then you do find people that suffer from it on a daily basis, like people that are struggling to that are struggling to achieve goals, to go after goals. As you said, it's a deeper version of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree with you, Viwe, that there are definite levels and there are different phases that it hits you, right? And there's different ways in which it shows itself. When it will stop you from starting something new, definitely, because you don't believe in yourself or you don't believe in your capabilities, right? It will also, when you do believe in your capabilities, to downplay them. So even that is part of it, right? Where you're like, I finally made it to the table. And then you get to the table because you've worked so hard. And this is with relation to corporate women, to Black women in corporate. You've worked so hard to get a seat at the table. And then you get to the table and it's just mediocrity, right? People who have gotten there through connections, through corruption, through other things outside of hard labor. And you realize that, but this table, I've been working so hard. Maybe it wasn't even that big a deal. Maybe it wasn't even the table I was supposed to be at. Perhaps I'm at the wrong table. Now the whole thing starts again and that time you've made it now, right? You've been crowned as managing director or whatever corporate, and now you get there, you're like, this is very underwhelming. And then there's also this type of imposter syndrome that says, no, I'm going to do everything, right? And I think that's the quote that follows that whole thing that so now you're at the table and you've realized that other people don't deserve to be at the table, so then you just take everything on. That's another type of imposter syndrome where you're like, I'm not going to delegate, I'm going to do everything because I'm good, there's no one better than me. But then in public you're going to downplay it again. It's so messed up. And I think the next quote says, I obviously must keep doing more and more to prove myself capable. I will not only do what is assigned to me, but I will take on extra tasks. Doing more and more and more and more. And I won't do only what's assigned to me, but I'll take on the extra tasks. Just so that people always continuously realize and recognize that I'm the great one, I'm the good one. So it's sort of like forcing people to affirm you. And it's a sign that you are not okay, if you constantly need validation from people that you probably don't even respect, but the fact that you are taking their tasks from them and you're doing it, you want people to applaud you for working very, very hard when you didn't even have to, but you've already gotten here because you've worked hard. So yeah, like, it's really messed up. And I don't know how we can
that are more than iplate yakho when you start putting izinto, like when you start, it's, I don't know, guys, I don't know how to feel about this imposter syndrome thing. It's hitting home, and I just got like imposter syndrome. It's just, it got added to my depression, so I just got through it. So now that we're talking about these things, it's just trigger. So please don't feel some type of way if I don't really say much about this, because guys, it's very,
That's understandable.
it's a psychological thing. So yeah,
sorry, babe.
it's okay.
Sorry, babe.
It's all right, guys. We move your life.
It's not okay. It's not
okay,
okay.
because I've been 7 months free from depression, guys. This month is 7 months free from depression.
Wow.
So, yeah.
But
Sorry, I just
I just wanted to add something. What Mbali was saying, I keep on referring to this. I really understand it in a very deep level. That I remember when I was younger, and I really have a very competitive father, and father's very strict. And when I was growing up, for instance, I would get 5 times place in a public speaking competition. It'd be like, congratulations, but who's first? Why aren't you first? You know what I mean? So then it kind of downplays the achievement that I've already achieved. You know what I mean? I've gotten here. And not that I'm saying that didn't work for him parenting me. It worked because I tend to try harder than anyone else. I tend to practice more, and I tend to try to master something before I try it out. So it worked, but I can only imagine what it could have done to someone else. And I can only imagine what it could have done to someone who wasn't exactly like my father. You see, I'm exactly like my father. So the competitive side and the push harder, it works with me, but it wouldn't work with my sister, for instance. You know what I mean? And I just noted what Bali was saying, that I can only imagine in a situation whereby you've achieved something, but you're being told about another classmate of yours that has done better, or you got 80% for a test, but you're being asked, why didn't you get 100? Like you got 80. I think that should be enough. But it's a matter of stuff like that, those little things where someone says to you, it's not enough, and you grow up making those things how you behave. Then you obviously now seek validation from people that don't even know you, because you spent your whole life trying to prove to people that I'm capable, I can do better. Then you take on tasks, like lots of things. And if I recall, I used to take on a lot of tasks growing up. I would do everything. I'd be in this and that and that. But for me, I ended up liking the stuff I did. For someone else, I would think that would break them. It would be a breaking point, you know what I mean? And people are different. And I feel like it should probably start with how we raise children, how we treat the people in our lives. You get friends that do that to you, that yeah, I get it. You got into this, but everyone is getting into it. Did you sleep your way to the top? And then you start believing that, okay, since everyone is sleeping their way to the top, and I'm here based off, and it's just, it makes you feel like you're not good enough. You start believing in the little easier ways in life that you should have taken, because the way that you took is now being downgraded. Like how everyone can just, date someone rich, and now you're trying to hustle, and now your hustle looks less important. Your little boutique looks like a little boutique because everyone else is getting things in an easier way that kind of makes you feel like it's not good enough. And people look down on you and say stuff like, but so everyone can do what you're doing. And you get things like that. And that could hurt a person. It could break a person. It could make a person seek for validation on Instagram, on Twitter, with strangers. And that's, I think, where that type of imposter syndrome comes into play. So people start seeking validation from strangers, like try to portray a certain lifestyle so people can like you, or you come across as, I don't know. I think it's along those lines, if I'm not interpreting it incorrectly.
Yeah, I agree completely. I think that's how we've got into this weird place on our social medias where you're just wondering, did you have to, like, some shocking things we see on social media to seek validation. And when you don't get it, you have like serious problems thereafter, right? And it's very difficult. And I think with us being in some positions of influence, where we are, can we talk about how to do better, how to encourage better colleagues, little sisters, how to be better managers, how to even be better employees, or subordinates? Because sometimes when you're not getting validation, or you're not seeing yourself, as a proper person fit to do this particular task, or if you're like Zilu, who's so certain, she's so certain about herself and her self-positivity, that perhaps when we relate to other people, or we're managing other people, or we're starting new foundations, that we might have some blind spots that we don't see. So I think the last question is, how do we in our spaces encourage people? If you see this type of behavior within the people you're working with, how would we be able to assist and to, I don't know, elevate the self love and the self credits, giving yourself credits before other people give you credits? I think that's one very important thing. And another important thing is acknowledge. I found it very difficult to acknowledge my accomplishments. I can acknowledge the accomplishments, but people tend to not want to hear the how, right? So when I'm like, I've published a book, it's called Jtrees. It's available for sale for this much. And that's where I'll end off. But you don't realize that it took me 3 months, of not sleeping, working 9 to 5 to complete that job, right? That in writing certain chapters that were so triggering because they were about rape, I got into like a mental, like, health condition. I had anxiety. I've still got the anxiety from there, when this happened, and then this happened, and then I've been going to these book fairs and doing this and doing that. I had no money here, but I had, all of these things, and acknowledging all the small wins, right? All the small accomplishments, not just the big accomplishments as well.
I think above it all, I'm just worried. I'm taking it on a parent level or a big sister level, and that's how I want to make a difference. I think by all means, if I ever have children, I would want to create an environment whereby if they want to be competitive, let's be competitive in a healthier way, and an environment where the achievements are not looked down on. You know what I mean? And this is for every woman that is close to women that I know, whereby if someone says, hey, I published a book, hey, I opened up this and that, let's not make it look small. It isn't. Every victory is a huge one. And It's just how we say things to people that kind of make them start feeling like they shouldn't overshare or they shouldn't share these aspects of their life. And this is when they go in their private time and think that everything is just falling apart, that now publishing a book is and stuff like that. And I feel like it's such a big deal. Let's make it a big deal where we can. And in the work environment, if someone does something that you know you could never do, congratulate them and, you know, give them that type of love and welcoming that you would want if you had accomplished a task of that level and stuff like that. So I'm just saying, yeah, let's, not that we're gonna spend most of the time validating people, but let's give people what we would like and not look down on people's accomplishments.
Also, try to not do things for people or to get people's validation. Try to do things for yourself, for set your own goals for yourself. Just and not do it for people, because I feel like pressure when we start doing things for people, when we start being something that we're not, just to be applauded by people. So yeah, just put your self first. I mean, so yeah.
I personally feel like there's only so much that the next person can do for yourself. So everything starts, everything should be within. Don't expect anything from anyone. If abantu bafuna ukhangela later, great. But if ever they don't wanna abafuni, then it's fine. Like, as long as when you're happy for yourself, like as long as you're doing stuff for yourself, and then it's about right. Yeah. Because literally a person can only say so much to myself, but if I don't believe in my own stuff, it's gonna be hard for me to take in whatever Umbali was saying. You know.
That is so true. That is so true. So building on that, a lot of self-affirmations have worked for me, have worked as for many people, and understanding that my acknowledgement is actually enough, right? Everything else's everyone else's acknowledgement is a bonus, and being able to take a compliment and just say thank you so much, you know, it's been this and this and this, and I'm happy. I'm also happy that I was able to do it, and that you know, that I did it, and just end it there. Not go on about how it's small, about how anyone could have done it. Oksala, even if everyone can do it, you did it, and today it's about you or your accomplishments. And we're done with most firsts in any case. Like, first Black woman to do this, first one in the squad to do this, first one to do this, and sometimes you won't be the first, but you definitely can't be the last. So we must make sure that we ensure that other people are encouraged through us, that people are motivated through us, that also we don't get pompous, because when you are also pompous, it's another thing. Overconfidence and being pompous and arrogance are words that are coming. But also, if you're arrogant and you did the thing, you know, it's why not? No, I'm joking. So yeah, actually, I don't know. I did. You know, I want a search here that says founder, publisher, you know, all that.
Why
not? I am those things.
In most cases, I don't think, not that people should understand, but I don't think people from outside understand how much what it takes for a person to start whatever. Like, guys, like, it's so hard. Like, like, it's the pits. Yo, I shame, I do not recommend. Yo, it's the pits.
I do not recommend.
Yo, guys.
I do not recommend.
It's shame.
I also downplay izinto. Abaninzi abantu abafuna ukudlala izinto nothi I don't recommend. I recommend. I recommend.
One of the is that in situations like you're saying, it's very hard. It's like extremely hard. I can sometimes you like idea even going to work. Am I not trying to do things too hard? I think to help other people, I get it when the things we are doing in life, once you accept that you are a person that wants to help others and you're using your platform or your voice to uplift others as you're moving along. And I mean, it's not that everyone's doing it, but being on a platform like M underscore, you've automatically decided that this is what I'm going to be doing. In the process of me finding myself, in the process of me navigating through this world, I'm also trying to help someone else and bring them up as I'm moving. I think when we do stuff like this, we should also like kind of open up the floor, open up the dinner table. I don't know if I'm making sense. And not in our positions downplay things and undermine things so that they feel like like open up the table, let people come in and let people welcome them. Yes, we're going to tell them it's difficult, it's not easy. You're going to have your mental problems, you're going to break down. We make that clear to you. You got to break down, and it's okay to break down, but if you want assistance, there is a table and there's so much space, and that's what we do. And as much as we need to give compliments as well. It's not enough. Sometimes you have to be the woman you wanted when you were younger, and sometimes you have to be the woman you want when you had no one around. So take a compliment, sure, but give one at the same time, because that's where the thin line is. Yeah, Bali, you're so beautiful, but how many people does Bali tell that they're beautiful? You know what I mean? Let's like let it be a thing we give off one another. We do.
Yeah, don't fight the spirit of wanting to be the only one at the table. The table is big enough for everybody. Everyone must come in. If not everyone, then somebody, you know. But you can't be gatekeeping the table. No, we can't. Anyway, I think that was a very fruitful discussion, and I think we are at least more aware about the sneaking attacks of imposter syndrome. Maybe not to us, maybe to our friends, to our family, to our kids, you know, even to our parents. And sometimes it's difficult, but there are uncomfortable conversations that we might have to have with people with the syndrome to help them get out of it. And I think today we've at least done enough for us to help other people through this platform. So M underscore continues to be a great platform for that. And with that, I want to hand over to Mbali for our announcements.
All right, good people. So for announcements, it is actually quite amazing. For Women Crush, we have Umashogane Masho. We had her as our guest on Women's Day with our beautiful host Zila Michelo. So Umashogane Masho is a senior lead strategist of Publicis Group Africa. She's a founder of YEP Africa, or YEP Africa, and she is a list curator and a journalist for Forbes Africa, which is so amazing. And when I watched Umasho talking and, you know, sharing her experience, her journey, what I took from her, I think most of everyone, you know, took from her is that she's a dreamer. She's a chaser. We are young. She highlighted something where she said, chase your dream till you get it. No bangap, no you just chase it up until you get it. Do not rest up until fumane itunyako. So yeah. Moving on to our announcements. Yeah, guys. Otherwise, special announcements. Adelile, I give you Kego. So, guys, this lady, guys, people are sleeping on you. No, I feel like kulelo. Okay, name a few. Okay, she is nominated Go Sevens a Woman campaign. All right, where you can vote for her by SMSing Anelile to 44344, and yeah, SMS as much as you can. Just do the most out of it. And she is an author of a book that I still need to read. Equally Dreams, yes, girl. And last but not least, ladies and gentlemen, Annelile is going to be part of South Africa Book Fair. honey, Jonga, South Africa book fair. No, when uzohlala ne-author, zezinye author. Yeah, either the top of the top of the toppest of the authors, babes. Not everyone to be part of the South African book fair, honey. You know. But anyway, I will put the links of where or how you can get a hold of Anyelile, and you know what. And last announcement, as some of you know, that I'm Miss Africa finalist. So so please vote for me, go Miss, by SMSing Miss 11 to 4701. For me to be the face of Africa. I mean, guys, hello.
Hey.
A continent.
Why not? There we go.
Why not?
But yes, guys, thank you so much for tuning into our channel, which is M_made for women by women. Feel free to engage with us, man. Comment, follow us on our social media platforms. We're on Instagram, we're on Facebook, also on Twitter. The links are below, and subscribe, you know, like, share, inspire, be inspired, you know. Anyways, thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.